Okay, here I am at Calling Lake Provincial Park, which is one lake near my community of Athabasca, Alberta. We are actually on Treaty 8 territory here in Big Stone Cree Nation. And just wanted to talk a little bit about Calling Lake. Calling Lake is actually a fairly undeveloped lake for Alberta. It has a provincial park here with a campground. The campground doubled in size 2 years ago. It has a small village just down the highway here, and then the reserve is also on the lake. There are some cabins, but not very many comparatively, maybe on a small portion of the lake, so it's actually relatively undeveloped. I'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of the lake here shortly. And then we'll get on the lake and I'll show you, I guess there's some really big blue-green algae blooms, which is very uncharacteristic for this lake. So hopefully I can get the boat on the water and we can go and take a look at them. Thanks. As you can see here, here's a map of Calling Lake, Alberta. Calling Lake, Alberta has no distinct structure. It is bathtub size and shape in nature. Most of the development is on the south and east side of the lake, with the campground on the south and the reservation and small village on the east side. The northwest and southwest part of the lake is still undeveloped. Just to give you an example, Alberta has 800 fishable lakes with a population of just under 4 million. Saskatchewan has 30,000 fishable lakes with a population of around 1 million. So you can see why this lake is getting so much pressure. In my opinion, too much pressure. A few statistics about Calling Lake, Alberta. As you can see here, it is about 13.5 kilometers by 13 kilometers, being about 138 square kilometers in size. It goes down to about 60 feet, and it is a mud bottom lake primarily, located in the boreal forest of Alberta. Well, good morning. We're driving into Calling Lake. We're in Calling Lake Provincial Park. There's a couple deer. I have my Ruby dog with me. Okay, so as we drive in, I'm just going to show you where the vehicles were pretty much the entire month of June, how busy this lake can be. So as you drive in here, this is actually the opening. At one time they used to actually have that staffed when Alberta Parks had money. But most times you will see vehicles parked along the ditches starting here. So trucks and empty trailers will be parked all the way back to there, all the way along these roads, on both sides usually. All the way down here. All the way down here. To the right is the campground, and to the left is the boat launch. And like I said, there are trucks and trailers all along this road, all the way from back there, all the way to the boat launch. Usually several hundred boats just from this boat launch alone. And there are 3 boat launches. Here's one parking lot, which obviously was full. And here's the main parking lot at the provincial campground at least. And of course this would all be full as well. And then there's the lake. So as you can see, people park here, and yeah. Oh, we got some ducks on the dock, or what are those? Oh yeah, they're ducks, mallards. Cool. Oh, sorry, there's the mallards. Okay, I just got on the lake. I was just talking to a bunch of people at the boat launch, and they said the algae is some of the worst they've ever seen. So I'll try to find that for you here. Okay, we just stopped here because we have a good algae bloom right here where we are, which is pretty much in the middle of the lake. But I don't know if you can see that in the light, but tons of algae. Never used to see this. Okay, I'm at another part of the lake, and I got Ruby the fishing dog with me this morning. And I don't know if you can see this, but the algae is quite a bit thicker here. And it's just this little algae. It's just speckled all throughout the water. Let's see if we can find the blue-green algae. Okay, here I am. There's my boat. So when we came here, there was no one. It's a Thursday morning. I've been on the water for about 45 minutes. And we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 trucks in the last 45 minutes. And we saw lots of boats coming out of the campground and the cabins. So lots of boats on the water today, even though it's a Thursday. So thanks. So as I'm driving out, there's a few vehicles driving in. The campground is absolutely packed. This is just people coming in. Remember, it's a Thursday. It's like 9 a.m. And that's just coming in crazy. There's the, go to the campground. Crazy how busy this lake has become. Well, I'm back from Calling Lake, Alberta. I unfortunately did not find the large blue-green algae blooms that the old-timers at the dock told me about. There was a large storm the night before, and maybe that pushed it down or moved it around, but I couldn't find it. Just want to talk a little bit more about the Calling Lake. 2 years ago, I was there on Father's Day in June, and I talked to the conservation officer, our fish and wildlife officer, and it was 5 o'clock at night, and he had checked over 1,200 fish had come out of that lake just on that day. The fishing pressure and boat use on the lake is much too great to keep that lake the pristine lake that it is. So a couple things that I'm going to do. Obviously, this presentation, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with people of interest. I have also asked to speak with the local biologist and some local people on the reserve, but at time of filming, I had not made contact with them yet. But I do need to talk to some people on the reserve to get their feedback to see what type of changes they've seen over the years. Once I get that, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I think I'm going to start talking to more community members on the reserve and in the village, and definitely start a letter writing campaign to government. Those are some of the actions that I'm going to take in my land defense of Calling Lake, Alberta. Thank you very much.